All right, welcome. Today is February 18th, 2026. I am your host, Ira Thomas Wish the Fourth. I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm actually, look, I just want to say this, man. I appreciate everybody listening. I know I don't have a lot of people that view or a lot of people that's paying attention to what I'm saying right now, but that's not my motive to actually do this podcast. My motive is to educate, to entertain, and to bring y'all some real information on what's going on in the world. You know, this is a way of informing me to speak to all my family and my real core friends, that I grew up with, that I don't get to see or speak with. I don't have, I'm not here for no kind of clout chase. I actually know I need to speak because the way the government, the way the system is set up and designed for me to lose, I have to. This is a way to combat that negative energy, to combat that atmosphere of of hate, that they have in their heart for the people like me. And that's one of my main messages. I try to stay on point with what I do this for. Shout out to my child Naya Bush, and my grandfather, my grandmother, and also my mother as well. I love them all dearly, and I do a lot of this just to make sure I stay on point in my goals that I set for myself as a young child. So that being said, today's gonna be one of these. Probably, like I said, I try to keep it under an hour. I'm going to talk about, one of the main things I'll be making a joke about is when they killed all our orange trees in my neighborhood. I grew up in Pinellas County, Florida. My mom was on one side, my dad was on the other side. My grandfather was like in the middle, kind of like it was. Well, my mom was in the middle, my grandfather was on one side. Like that's how I grew up. And when I graduated preschool in St. Petersburg, and the preschool I graduated from was Jordan Park, which is a project, but I didn't stay there my whole. I stayed there just a few years. But then when I got older, I moved to the other side of Pinellas County, in a little area called Hot Point. And, I was in Largo for a little bit, but with my own grandmother and stuff. But my mom moved back over there with her family, and I moved to Hot Point like 7. And I was there. I would say for like 5 years, so I learned a lot just being in school, being in the playground, whatever. And I based a lot of the stuff that I learned in a few years going to elementary school, going to just having fun with my friends. Just my mannerisms of what I believe in and what my goals is, and me not giving up on life and me not giving up on a lot of stuff that I set goals for. Um, I was trying to say is we had a whole bunch of orange trees in our neighborhood. And then when that somebody, I don't know, it definitely was government. Maybe we had somebody that hate in United States of America, hate Florida. They came and did they want to, and they killed all our orange trees in our neighborhood, poisoned them out of nowhere. I'm talking, we had some of the best orange trees in Florida. I'm not making this up. It was right in our neighborhood, all throughout the neighborhood. And, I was mad because I had money for snacks and stuff, but I ate like 3 or 4 oranges a day, sometimes more than that. And on weekends we ate about 10 oranges a day. So we had fun. We was outside, and so what one of the main topics today, I'm going to read a story from, like, I don't know when it made. It was on. I got it off the AP News, and it's this a story on how I think it was like in 2000. This was an article published in 2022, but like I said, this happened like early 2000s when they messed up our orange trees, and they was already working on the ones that was in the country, in the middle of Florida, in the central Florida area, like throughout Orlando. You go to Sebring, you go to where we was in St. Pete and Largo and Clearwater. That's where the central part of Florida is. Go out throughout that line, Lake Wales, wherever you want to, wherever you from. You kind of, if you're from Florida, you'll actually understand what I'm saying. That's mainly what a great orange. I got. Where my great grandfather and where my other people from, they see the Pasco area. They got a lot of orange trees, orange fields as well. So just at that middle of Florida, it was big, and I know a lot of those trees are not getting taken care of. I know a lot of people don't understand why I'm talking like this, even down in the south, because it's a lot of swamplands, a lot of high rich nutrient fields, but it's like build up. They don't build all that concrete over there. They don't. People forgot kind of the way of what it's supposed to be. We'll substitute, fresh green lands for, paper dollar and, flash and whatever. I ain't mad at it. It's supposed to be built up, but it also need to make sure you keep some kind of historic part and make sure your land is nurtured. And, that's what my biggest thing is, because I see, you know, the way that they attack people is taking away their just that substance of the organic of your true nature, your true self, what you come from, your existence of what you're supposed to be doing. So, you can't get caught up in all the hype. You can't get caught up in a lot of stuff that they put in front of you. You got to actually stay grounded. And, that's what I'm going to read. I'm going to start off with that. Also, I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to read, I'm heavy political, I know everybody now is into it political. Like, I'm not really into, they don't put enough information in the political world they don't give us enough information. You got to go get the information, kind of. Everybody is propped up on these they're propped up with these positions that they have in the political world, and they don't understand that it has to be changed. Like, the main thing right now, it's not like when Obama was in office, when he first got in office, when he ran, it was changed. But when he got there, the realization was nobody wanted to change for real. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell by his mannerisms after like the first 2 years, he was like, I'm tired, I got children. You feel me? Like, whatever y'all say. And then the next term, he had a little bit more control just from being a veteran as a president. And, it was a little bit more of what he needed to be done, but it wasn't when he got there. Now, fast forward to now, the person that's supposed to be the leader, he just writing executive orders. He's turning back time to the Ku Klux Klan, to division, to separation, to war. You know what I'm saying? It's reversing what it's not supposed to be. That's not the change we need. We don't need to go back to, what his slogan is, make America great. That's not it. Making America making America white supremacist is not what it is. There's too many people that are not white. They're not, they're not in that, I hate to tell it how it is. Like, it's not that no more. You gotta realize, wake up and smell it. Like, it's not that. So everybody's spaced out. I'm gonna talk about the importance of governors. There's somebody brought that up on CNN. They did a little story earlier today or yesterday, whenever they taped it, whenever they recorded that. I'm gonna play that, and I'm gonna do some political terms so the youth actually knows what some of these people are saying. And I'm gonna read y'all that story, the story that I was talking about earlier. Sports wise, the Winter Olympics, I think the United States of America is in third place. When I last checked, when I watched the hockey game and we beat Germany. I don't know, we probably had a game after that. I haven't been paying attention too much. I don't even have a TV where I live, so I'm not tripping about too much sports right now. Hopefully, what I learned about the Olympics, it's a lot of stuff being done in the world wise when it's Olympics. So, it's still important that, they have all those people from different countries in the same place, even if it's sports coach. They got directors there. They have people that are very high power people in these countries that are all in one room or one facility. So, being in the Olympics is still important. And, it's a lot of stuff going on. So still turmoil in other places, other countries that you have to pay attention to. I don't really understand. I've just hopped back on Twitter. That's why I'm doing the Twitter as well. Like I tell y'all, I got people jealous of me, man. When I speak, I don't have to talk. I've been in the sports world my whole life, but I actually have a lot more to say. And I have, people that are jealous. People can't even comprehend what I'm saying half the time. They think it's, me, yeah, like, they have that mindset that the world gonna be over tomorrow. Live to the end, whatever they think. But we got children. They gonna have children, and the world gonna keep going. And I'm still 30, under 30. I'm in my mid 30s. So I ain't looking nowhere near the end. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's for first and foremost. And I'm also not trying to be poor. I'm also not trying to not have money. that's not the message that I want people to think about me. That's I'm gonna have to say that message because there's stupid people out there that want to go off every little thing of me making examples, but they're not literally listening. They're not paying attention. They're not comprehending well. You know, comprehension means you understand. If you don't know that definition. So yeah, I ain't really. I want people to have as much as they can. I wish they understood community is very important. I wish they understood um making that making trying to be let me how you put it, when you doing stuff for the community, the last thing you want is when people give you your flowers for doing something. You know, you don't promote, you can't promote doing something for somebody if you're not coming from a pure standpoint. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that jump without people really understand, like knowing, because the person that you help will be the one that be like, hey man, remember that. It's gonna be way more people that champion you as a real person that gives, the real person that give, you know, knowledge or money, whatever you giving, they gonna champion you for that. If you without you, that's one of my biggest things that I learned, you know, just from being around my father, my grandfather, my mother. They don't help so many people. You know, my family does that all the time. I want that to be known. You feel me? That's me being a mid-aged adult for you know, going older. That's just how it is, you know. And a lot of people took advantage, but it won't be like that in this next generation. You feel me? That will not be the case for my family because I can see where it's going. We don't need to help nobody. They got the game. They hate it. They ain't want to. They ain't want to. You know, bring it back down. You know what I'm saying? How I go. You know, but that's okay. He ain't got to help you no more. That's one of my biggest mottos. Like, I ain't got to help you do nothing. You feel me? I already did what I had to do. I already done gave you the sauce, gave you the game, gave you the book. However you want to go with. I gave you, you know, my mom, you know, my dad, whoever you want to actually, you know, I gave you, you got it. But that's just how it's like. It's I'm moving on. I'm elevating. I'm gonna continue to elevate. I can't let no naysayers that don't know me. Half these people, the crazy thing I be noticing is being I ain't never really left the state that I'm from. I mean, I lived anywhere besides my state. So the people that's from outside, they come here, they want to be like, "Oh, you from Florida? Why you ain't? What you think? You way over there hating? Why you over there hating? Why you over there talking about what I ain't did for you? You feel me? Why you over here getting information from people that ain't never even stayed over here? That stuff be confusing me. Like that don't even that's why that's one of the ways that they keep black and brown people, black people. We're gonna put it on like they put it on our IDs, black. You know what it is, the Pacific Islander, whatever they keep y'all us to divide it. That's the main reason, because y'all listen to people way over here and way over there, and all this goofy, you know, half-ass, you know. That's the problem. That's the issue. You feel me? That's petty issues, though. That's not my issue no more. I've observed it. I'm speaking on it. Trying my best to educate and lead to the complete different way. That's one of the things that I do this for real. So we're gonna go right into it. I'm gonna read this article, and then this is based. This is an AP News article in Orlando, Florida. Like I said, um, this is an hour away from where I'm from, St. Petersburg, Florida, and this is 2.5 hours from where I'm living right now. So this is why it's important to me. And this is, like I said, it was it was Fox 13 News did this just when they was reporting on it. They did a good job, but the amount of time that they spent on it, I did not like. I'm gonna find that article. When I find out Fox 13 clip of them speaking on the orange trees getting killed. Well, it was a great article. I paid attention when I was young. Y'all understand? I read the St. Petersburg Times all the time when I was a child. They used to have it in the school, in elementary. It was very high level when it comes to me getting information. You feel me? I did not pay attention to that. I had fun. I played sports all the day, but I paid attention. I watched PBS Kids, PBS, just like everybody else. On the weekends, in the morning, I grew up watching it in pre-K, all that. I watched Nickelodeon. You know what I'm saying? I was on all that. You feel me? So, so you know, it wasn't like I wasn't. You know, I ain't get no information when I was younger. It's just how it's gonna be. So let me read it. This is just an example. Now, it's not the only thing. Like I can't say, you know, like it was yesterday. I was trying to bring some light to some things. So we're gonna keep it in Florida. And mine is the orange trees. I went to the listen, I went to the. This is why I'm doing it today because I went to the market today. I got an orange. I got me a red onion, and the orange was from California. I'm like, how y'all? How, that doesn't even look right. And this is the second time. Cause when I was at home, I say a month and a half, 2 months. It was last month, 2-3 weeks ago. I was down at home in St. Pete. It was in Clearwater actually. It wasn't St. Pete. I went to a fresh market store. Same thing. Now both of the oranges was really good. I am not gonna lie, but it's not a Florida orange. The price. If it was a Florida orange, the price would still be 50 cents in the store. They got me buying. I have to pay. I have to spend $1 or more for one orange, one real orange. Not those. I'm talking about the oranges that's like you come off. It tastes like the orange juice, the fresh orange juice from whatever time. Like not the one that they be putting up in Tropicana. I don't know what they doing now. That's not real orange juice. I don't know what they got going on, but they ain't talking about no orange juice. I'm still in Florida. I want Tropicana people to look for me. This is why we talking about it. We need our trees back. But let's go. Let's keep it moving. Orlando F. Florida AP. The owner of the commercial nursery has won a 1.2 million judgment against Florida Department of Agriculture. That's another thing. Florida agriculture, y'all messed up some stuff that people have set in place. Y'all got lazy. Y'all have not done y'all good. Y'all have not done a just do as far as putting the right people in place. Y'all want to sell out. Let's cut that. It was 2022, so I know it's still going on. Now let's continue. In the latest verdict against the state agency in destroying the citrus trees in the 2000s during the attempt to stop spread of costly tree disease. That's what they was calling it, tree disease. I'm telling you, this shit was so random. It was like the government went and shot our trees up with some poisonous, and them bitches ain't came back since. What they tried to do is corner the market, and they done fucked up some shit. I mean, excuse my profane, but what's up, man? How you doing? Continue. A jury in Orlando last determined the state agency has destroyed more than 160,000 citrus plants in the effort to stop citrus greening, and Gary Mahone deserved the 1.2 as compensation at fair market value. Mahone's company, Pokey's Lake Gem Citrus Nursery, cultivated the fruit trees in Zellwood, Florida. Look, that's a city in Florida I ain't never been to. So shout out to Zellwood for stepping up and going after these people for messing up these trees. The Department of Agriculture had argued that Mahone did not deserve compensation since he could have avoided his losses by moving his citrus plants into greenhouses. That's what they wanted to do, I guess. Mahomes' attorney disputed the interpretation of the law. In 2008, the Florida law. Let me stop. Say I'm glad I read this because I read this straight. I picked the article and I read it. Now they say that much. This is the news people basically writing something based off somebody having a complaint, winning money. The problem is they want us to they want to put the trees in greenhouse so they can control the market. Like I just said, this is stuff that is obvious, but it ain't successful because our rich nutrient. It was over decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years probably that we had oranges in Florida. Florida Panthers used to roam everywhere in Florida for real. Where they at? In the caves, in the zoo, looking sick. You feel me? So like that's what the problem is. They don't want stuff to be natural. This is I call Florida the United. Look, I call the United States of Africa. The United States, Florida. I call it a part of Africa already because I know how close it is actually to being like that's what is based off of. The stuff that we have here in Florida is very, very close to the motherland. So you can get an example of the motherland in Florida. That's basically what I'll be trying to say. Or Mexico or whatever Spanish country that's on the borders that's based off, family and rich and foreign land and all that. So, I know for a fact, that's the problem. Y'all trying to make people pay for something that's already rich. You already wealthy off oranges. you know, they didn't want somebody else to get wealthy off of. No, go ahead, sell some of your trees, sell some of your land. Make sure they doing it properly. People get mad and did some cost behind that shit to our plants and to our trees. And I ain't going for them. We're still gonna talk about it till they start doing what they supposed to do. It's 2026. They still haven't got to business and doing what they supposed to do. That's a problem. Now let's continue. In 2008, the lawmakers passed legislation requiring citrus plant growers to sell or destroy plants not grown in greenhouses to protect the state's citrus industry from citrus greening. Citrus greening is among the biggest threats to U.S. citrus industry since infected trees produce fruits that are green, misshapen, or bitter. The disease can eventually kill infected trees though it is harmless to humans. Now y'all hear that? They want to mess up some trees because how it tastes and how it looks. It's harmless to us, but this all stems from them putting it poison in it. Then they got the little worms growing out of it. This is what happened in our neighborhood. Everybody would talk about it in the neighborhood. I'm not making this up. I can remember talking to somebody and we was like scared. We was like, oh, the tree, you know, with that the sky is falling, the sky. That's how everybody was. I swear to God, I can remember. It was more than just the person I was talking to, but everybody was shocked how bad the trees was. And we was eating these trees like it was overnight. It was like somebody randomly fucked up all the trees. I'm not mixing this up. It's got to come full circle because all they got to do is tear all those trees and really like grind them up and put them in soil and then put some more plants in. You got to keep doing it until they regrow it properly. The root got to be properly fixed. So you know it ain't no hard thing to do. They trying to put them in grow house and greenhouse. That's weird. We have sprinkler systems. We have water. We have natural. What do you call it? What's those things? Our water grow. It's like you pump some water and it's water come. We still have that. We have sinkholes because of this. Like we good when it comes to water. We are on water still. You know what I'm trying to say? We do not need a lot of stuff to make our soil to be green, to be pure. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard. Just figure it out. Stop making it hard. You know what I'm saying? Redo it. We ain't need no grow house. We don't need no overdoing it. Y'all trying to control something. Go somewhere else. Leave the state of Florida. Go poison that shit over there. Don't come over here fucking up stuff over here. We don't need that. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I actually like my state. You feel me? I like how I grew up. So figure it out. This 2026 update. Okay, let's continue though. And okay, let's go. This is something that I think a quote from him, the person that won the attorney. While the Florida legislature and Department of Agriculture meant well by passing the enforcing this law, it has catastrophic impact on the niche citrus nursery growers, said Alexander Clem, Mahomes' attorney. Our client fought for years to get justice for thousands upon thousands of plants he has forced to destroy and will be thrilled he will be compensated, and can move on with his life. So he gave up. He's like, I already tried. They got to pay me. I'm moving on. In the statement, the Department of Agriculture said Wednesday, which is still not a lot of money because you're going to make some money with them orange trees growing every year. That is a residual income that's for life. So you could make 50,000 this year, 50,000 within a 10-year span, or 10 to 15 years, you made $1 million. Then you pass that tree down, your tree down to your seed. You know what I'm saying? They don't mess it up because that's what it was. It wasn't nothing hard. My grandfather used to work them orange trees. My great grandfather and grandfather used to work them orange trees, and my mother, because she started working very early. And my aunts as well. All this stuff is documented from my family standpoint. They have done too much for people to stop earning and to live off the land. This is unnecessary. I really am going to go. This is one of the main things. What I plan on doing, this will be something that we are a focal point. It's not no flu ass game. If you're from a different state, you ain't gonna understand. I know y'all out of towners want to come here and mess stuff up. You're dirty. You got dirty little neighborhoods where you from. You want to be stinking nasty. Y'all could be that, but don't come over here doing all that. So we're gonna continue. This case has long been fought for our department, and position has changed. The demand of Mr. Mahone's citrus crop was direct result of failure to come into the compliance with state regulation, the statement said. In the past 2 decades, Florida's citrus industry has been threatened with greening and other disease called citrus canker. Citrus canker can cause the leaves and fruit in citrus trees to drop prematurely and create unappealing lesions on the fruit. The lesions leak bacterial cell and can spread to other trees by wind, rain, and contaminated equipment. According to U.S. Department of Agriculture, with both diseases, state agriculture workers destroyed the citrus trees in effort to stop the destructive spread. Earlier this year, about 18,000 homeowners in Orange County, home to Orlando, won the judgment to 42 million against the state for destroying their citrus trees. Tens of thousands of homeowners in Broward, Lee, and Palm Beach counties also have won class action lawsuits against the state over this. They're destroying trees, and compensation varied by county. And cases admit in Miami-Dade County still pending. So I'm actually located in South Florida right now in Palm Beach. So this is basically what I'm saying. I don't think they did our where I'm from that bad. I think it was caught early. It wasn't no joke, because I know if the children was complaining and it was on the news the next day or the next week and month, it was handled in a nice manner. Like I said, I don't see the trees, so they might have just took the trees out. But I really feel like that's an issue when they try to control something that doesn't need to be controlled. That causes more trouble. That causes people that are from the land to be like, dang, we don't need this is a fee we don't need. This is we were fighting. We got to go into court. We got to do all this unnecessary. We got to build. We got to make more trees. We gotta filter our soil. We ain't even figure out who did this. This is something that happened with nobody knowing why. They just said it's called citrus ranker and this tree disease, and it's not right. It's not right. We ain't got down to the source of the problem still, and it's been almost it's almost 30 years in where they started started these issues. So I have an issue with that. That's one of the main things. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let that be what it is. That's the main thing for the day. We're gonna go right into I'm gonna talk about political terms. I'm gonna read political terms. I ain't really gonna break down everything. I'm not gonna write. Probably not gonna read everything. This was actually created in 2008. I was talking about it on my last episode when the elections was on. I feel like he was breaking down stuff down. I was my senior year in high school, or 11th and senior year going. 2008 was the end of my 11th grade. 2009, 2008, 2009 was the beginning of my senior year, and I was okay. Say I did debate. I was on the debate team for 1 year, but it was very, very productive for me in 10th grade when I was on the debate team. I played football in 11th and 12th, so I didn't really. My interest of I was gonna get back to the political world. Just put it like that. I just played sports my whole life. I decided to work and play ball and enjoy my high school like that. And like that, I still did community service. You know what I'm saying? So it was based off the same kind of thing. I did pat the pick, and then when I went back to my home school, I did not see the debate team as an option. I wasn't intrigued by it. I was just trying to get in and out. But yeah, I'm gonna read y'all some terms, political terms, so you're informed, so you feel, I ain't going putting stuff in your head. You can actually look stuff up, and you can get, a light switch might hit off some of these terms that I read to you. Act, a bill or measure passed into law, also used to describe a comprehensive piece or proposed legislation with multiple components. Adjourn, to end a legislative day. So adjourn means like they could be having a debate, and then they be like adjourn day for the adjourn this meeting, whatnot. That's all that means. Ending of a legislative day, or a meeting, or whatever they voting on. That's what adjourn means. Adjourn sendai to end a congressional session. Y'all know what adjourn means? Yeah, it's more detailed. Administrative assistant, a congressperson's chief of staff. Amendment, a proposal to change or actual change to a given piece of legislation. Okay, so amendment, you might have, some kind of law. They might, you know, let's say change the wording on it. So, they done did that so much in America. That's why my ultimate goal is going to be to change. I can't even talk about it because there's so many steps I got to take just to get to that point. So they ain't gonna be no more amendments after I dismantle the whole constitution that they got propped up. They done made too many amendments. Authorization. Authorizes a program specifying its general purpose and broadly how to purpose to achieve and set a funding ceiling for the program. Authorization. Bill, a proposed law. Budget, an annual proposal and outlines the anticipation of federal revenue and designated programs expenditures for the upcoming fiscal year. I think I was talking to my mom. She said that word one time. I think that's a funny word to me. Expenditure. I think I said it right. Calendar, a list of bills and resolutions considered by the committee or by the either chamber. Chairperson, a member of the majority party who presides over the work and committee or subcommittee. Committee report, a committee's written statement about the given piece of legislation. The committee's reports are especially important because they often contain implementing and enforcing language of legislation. Committee report. That's what it's. Yeah, if y'all in Florida, man, if y'all need somebody to do y'all committee reports, holla at me. I could do that. I can help y'all a lot while I'm, gaining my traction, while I'm doing stuff doing stuff in the community still. Reach out. You might get somewhere. I don't know what that job is, but I'm gonna be doing them. But I think it's I think I'm not gonna hold on. Let me see if I'm gonna just read some important ones. Reauthorization, sanction a new, usually to change and previously approved program. Ranking minority member and minority party member with the most seniority on the committee. Ranking member of the majority party on a committee who ranked first in seniority and the chairperson. Quorum, a number of senators and representatives who must be present in their respective chambers before business can be conducted. Quorum. I know y'all not up there in Washington, D.C. doing y'all job. That's one thing I know. I know y'all send people up there to substitute. That's nothing changed. I'm telling you, it's going to be a big change. I'm not playing around for a report on all y'all. I'm finna steal some of y'all spots. I'm gonna have some more. I'm gonna get some underlinks in there. I'm gonna make sure I do things the correct way. Y'all gonna be real mad when I get to that. When I get to when Washington D.C. area, DMV area, and I start dominating, and y'all made me leave my seat in Florida. That's how I look at it. Y'all made me move. Y'all was jealous. Y'all was envious. Y'all was hating, and y'all finna make me dominate over there. I'm sorry to tell everybody. I don't know what year, how long it's gonna take for me to get there. Y'all ain't want me to coach. Y'all want me to go up there and dominate. So that's what it is. You better be quarrel. If that made sense, that made sense. But now I ain't gonna go too much into it. Y'all got enough for today for as far as legislation, political, terminology. We're gonna let it be. Now staying right on topic. Well, know I just y'all know I just the senator and the governors in Florida. They are some of the worst men in America. They fall behind one of the biggest dummies in the U.S. United States history. They don't have real leadership qualities. They don't know how to lead. So I'm gonna dish you until you correct certain things. I ain't really mad because y'all let people do what they do, but y'all don't have no leadership. Y'all don't know how to really grow y'all state. Y'all want to sit here and piggyback. Y'all want to sit here and do all this energy. Y'all want to go into these school boards, attack children. I was just watching the love and the Thor whatever. I was just watching the Thor what it is, one of the Thor movies, and it was about the love and something. And the bad guy was basically he took all the children of Asgard, and Thor had to go find them in the shadow realm, and you had to fight, and he had to bring them back to Asgard, and basically they was just showing you they need the children's energy. They want to use the children from some kind of as pawns, and you're not gonna use the children that is connected to me as pawns. We already past that stage. It's definitely not that time now. You use your own children as pawns. You can steal all the energy you want from them. They might not be as strong as mine or anybody attached to me, but you could just steal all your energy. You're not gonna mess up education for that. Y'all did that. All the people that I went to school with me myself. My family, y'all did that already. Wake up 2026, figure it out. I'm not on that type of time with y'all dummies. Y'all crash dummies, y'all non irrelevant. I don't know what you're trying to do, stay relevant. I don't know what you're practicing, what demonic energy you got going on. Figure it out. It ain't working out for you. Take that somewhere else. So I'm a diss them people that's in charge. I know they practicing all that voodoo, whatever they want to call. They want to sell over here, sell out over here. I'm paying attention. So hey, now we're gonna talk about it. I like the way he just basically talking about the structure of the governors in each state and how there's going to be elections and where it's standing. It's not really nothing like super important, but I like that he's speaking on it. I don't know who this guy is. Chief Data Analyst Harry Etienne. So yeah, we're gonna listen to what he got to say. I might play the whole 10 minutes. I might play just 5 minutes like I usually do, and then we're gonna break off from that. Okay. Basically, just telling y'all, who's gonna be holding the majority. I don't really care. The person that's in Florida is definitely somebody that's a Republican. I don't really. I just know that they're based off white supremacy, so it's not really a big deal to me. I'm not in the in. I'm not in the inner circle of what their plans are. They're not looking at me as somebody that is going to help them. So they look at me as a nobody. So I'm not really concerned with how they is. I speak the truth all the time. Just watch my old episodes. I already told them how I feel. How they already basically they only here for one thing, and that's to be drug addicts and to be dummies. Crash dummies for They ain't really got no vision or drive or anything. I ain't really stunning. Since that guy been governor, he's 40 pounds less, like a skinny old toothpick. And all the people that's involved in them look the same. Man, you feed yourself, man. Make sure you're around the right people, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all, man. That's the update. Um, I think that's gonna be probably it for that. I don't really have much. You got the gist of what's going on, where we're headed. Sports, the NBA games come back on tomorrow. I talked about the Olympics. Yeah, I don't really have. What are we missing? What am I missing? Watch some movies. Yeah, I gave you some entertainment. I ain't tripping. Um, that's it for today. This is Dynasty the podcast show. I am your host, Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth. Don't get it confused with the mini me's and the mini fees and the mini dummies. Y'all know what it is. I appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. And tomorrow I should be able to do a show. If I don't do it, it's not a big deal to me. Matter, I might do a show. Might now. It's all how I want, because I think I'm probably a little far ahead of people catching what I'm trying to put in everybody's mind. People definitely, before I end, people definitely, like I said, people spiritually attack me all the time. I'm a man though. I'm 33 years old. But the thing is, they might be affecting my child. They might be affecting my mom, and I don't appreciate the stuff that people do because how I speak, because I'm telling the truth, or I'm telling my truth. That makes sense to people. I don't understand why it's an issue. You could literally, like, the way these people are built up in a whole little society of their life, they could come find me. I'm not hard to find. You don't have to do nothing to my parents or my sisters or grandmother. Like, y'all weak to me. Y'all peasant, weak minded people. Y'all don't have the ability to stand on anything. Y'all don't have the girth. Y'all don't have nothing in you to stand on what you is. You're not nobody of strength or power to me. You're a peasant. You are a peasant. Especially if you talk about being in Florida. You're a peasant to me for sure. Because you haven't approached the person that you need to speak to. I'm right here in your face. I'm not hiding. So you need to come speak to me like a man or a woman that want to do all these little magic shows. You being jealous and envious. Hey, I'm right here. I ain't hard to find. I don't care if you a principal or a judge or wherever you think you is in society. I don't care about none of that. Where you come from, how you got there, how many times you laid on your back for that position, how many times you don't cross over your homeboys and your friends to get to that position. That's what it's about. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I ain't have to do all that to get to this level of speaking or even respect. So y'all could be mad, y'all could be hating, but I ain't hard to find. Like I said, I pull up, I do a show all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's it what it is. If you hide in another state, I don't care about you anyway. You feel me? You ain't on my radar for real. Cause I'll get to that point in another years and few years later, like I told y'all earlier in the show. It's gonna be step by step. I ain't cutting no corners when it comes to this. So that's it. I appreciate you. Actually, if you want to reach out to me on my email, my school email is ibush ibush2 at hawkmail.hccfl.edu. That's how you can reach me, and you want to be professional about it. I ain't hard to find. I'm gonna start giving my email a lot. I'm not a hard person to communicate with. I'm here for visionaries. I'm here to grow. I'll be there on the 24th on there, Broward. You know, it's gonna be way more detailed than 3 minutes. I'm gonna try to stay the whole time. I ain't even gotta talk. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Shout out to everybody that listen. Appreciate you.